Hey ho, how's it going? It's Friday, and yes, I fucking missed Thursday's game again. Okay, well, I know it was a half decent game up to halftime. I think the Giants kind of held in there for as little as possible. Um, I had an $800 ticket waiting, and the only is had nothing to do with the win. I needed the Giants to score first with a field goal, and it would have been $800. It was like a parlay, and it was. I found it on there, and I'm like, you know, what I should have taken was there was. Uh, then again, I didn't, like I said, I didn't watch the second half of that game, so but there was another uh, wager that was uh, for or against a team to score three times in a row, and I think the Patriots actually did that because they were the only ones to score in the second half. But shitty for me. But that's okay. You get your wins, your losses. If you can't handle the losses, there's no point in betting. Um, all right, guys. So this is NFL. We're going to try to get through this one really quick and try to vape as little as possible. Okay. So we got the first game is Carolina Tampa Bay. Carolina is a -2.5. I think Winston is playing a little better nowadays, but Carolina's doing pretty well too. On the road, I'm not gauging it on the last game that Tampa Bay won there with the 55 points, but it shows me that Winston's at least capable of throwing the ball, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay at home, +2.5, and I really don't really have much more to say about that. That's about it. What do you want me to do? All right, next one is Seattle at Cleveland. Seattle's a 1.5 favorite. Seattle's a lot more steady than Cleveland. Cleveland's fucking up and down, and and uh, basically, I think that I keep forgetting his name. But Baker Mayfield, I think he's kind of starting to fade out. I think the NFL is finally getting into him. College and NFL are like two different worlds. But I think the pressure on the NFL is starting to get to him, and he's starting to fade out a bit here. And like I said, Seattle's really steady. 1.5 points. I think even though a lot of the games have been close, yeah, those are against stronger teams. I'm going to take Seattle on the road as 1.5 point favorite. Houston at Kansas City. Again, another young quarterback. Mahomes, I think he's a little under pressure to perform a little bit better. Just like Trevor Lawrence is with Clemson, because those guys shouldn't even be in the top 10 with the strength of the teams that they're playing, and just the lackadaisical attitude they have on the field. It's almost like they're entitled to win. Yeah, I think that Mahomes, he's a good kid. He's good under pressure. I think he'll perform really well this week, especially at home. And like I said, KC's a hard place to play and hard place to win. And I think Mahomes will regain his status here. So I'm taking KC -4.5 at home. Uh, Washington, Miami. We're saving that game of the year to the end. All right. Next is Philly at Minnesota. Minnesota is -3. Um, so this is one of those situational moments where Philly has the two injuries or two running backs that are out, and that's kind of forcing Wentz to go to the air more often, and he should be. He shouldn't be relying on the running game anyways. Um, and since Minnesota is kind of weak in the passing defense, I think that's probably where the way they should go. And then again, it's vice versa, where Minnesota is more of a run team, and Philly has. I think their average is about 88 yards. What do we got here? 63 yards per game they allow. So this is a perfect situational game for Philly. I think they'll beat Minnesota at home. So I'm taking Philly plus the 3. New Orleans at Jacksonville. I like Minshew, I really do. He's a good quarterback, but he just doesn't have the support around him. Um, kind of like the Giants, they don't really have the support around that Daniel Jones. And so personally, I think that he's a good quarterback, and once they strengthen up that team a little more, I think they'll do all right. But like I said, right now they're kind of middle of the road. I think if Minshew plays the rest of the game, he'll get him at least to 500, if not maybe one game more. But up against a hot New Orleans team, um, they've beaten Dallas and Seattle in the last 3 weeks. So, I mean, and that's with Teddy Bridgewater, for God's sake. I think they're definitely capable of winning this game, especially for some reason being the underdog. So I'm taking New Orleans on the road as a 1.5 point underdog. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Need I say more? Baltimore's a -11. Cincinnati is just crap. Dalton's just shit. You know what? They have those moments of glory every once in a while. I don't think this is going to be one of them. Baltimore's kind of faded a bit, so I think they're going to try to get back into the way they started as well. So they are a -11, but I think they're capable of definitely covering that. Next game, San Francisco at the Rams. Rams are 3.5 point, 3 point favorite. Sorry. This is 3 points. I think is perfect for the Rams. I don't think if I'm going to take the Rams, I don't think they can win by any more than that. San Francisco is pretty tough. I guess we all know that now. I guess you have to start believing in San Francisco because they're 5 games in or 4 games in. 5 games in, 4 games in. Sorry, and whatchamacallit. Yeah, and like I said, I think this is the last chance for Goff and company to show that they can that they still have something, for Christ's sake, because they're basically this is it. I mean, they're at home, and like I said, if I think this is their last chance to show that the last year was a fluke. So I'm going to take the Rams at home -3 because I think they're under pressure. Atlanta -2.5 at Arizona. Atlanta should never, at this fucking point, should never be a favorite on the road to anybody, except maybe Miami. But we'll get to that game later. All right. Yeah, so like I said, the Arizona is basically the Kyler Murray. He's not a very big quarterback. I'm kind of surprised he actually got drafted. Um, Atlanta is basically the weakest team that they're going to face, or at least the weakest team they've faced so far. And they're at home, and Atlanta is crap. So the Magic 3 tells me to take Arizona +2.5 at home. Tennessee at Denver. Denver's a -2. Denver's a tough place to play because of the altitude, but they're also a shitty team. Tennessee, Mariota plays better. When he's a road dog, he plays a lot better. I don't know. You go back to the other games, you'll see. He's won every game that they're a road dog. I'm gonna take Mariota on this one. Tennessee +2 in Denver, just because I think that they're a better team on the road. All right, Dallas -7 at New York Jets. Yeah, New York is just shit on shit. Basically, they're just The only thing that keeps them from being shit on shit on shit is that that's Washington and Miami's place. But we'll get to that in a minute. All right. So, yeah, there's no competition here at all. The Jets are just garbage, with or without Darnold. Um, I don't know whether he's playing or not. All I know is that Dallas is just going to cream them. -7 is probably a gift. Pittsburgh at the Chargers. Um, I I think the Chargers are probably going to win this game, but I think Pittsburgh will be able to keep it close. I think their defense is good enough to keep it close. That Mason Rudolph is. Like I said, I want to say. Well, no, I guess I'm taking Pittsburgh anyways to cover. So if they win outright, I'm still a winner. So, yeah, I was never ever a big fan of Philip Rivers. I always thought he was a pretender. And so far, after all these years, he really is just a pretender. Just a guy who could put up a lot of numbers, but he could never ever push the team forward like somebody like a Tom Brady. Um, so yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh, 6.5 points. Why the hell not? Monday night's game, Detroit at Green Bay. I was going to take Detroit with the 4 points because they do have the power. They do have the defense, which is something that's been lacking for years. Sorry, I got to take a drink here. When I get dry, I start to slur and slobber. And I know that's a bit of a oxymoronic thing to say, dry and slobber, but that's just the way it is. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to take Detroit, and I might cover both. But Green Bay's been showing that they can. That first game that they played at the beginning of the year with Chicago, I don't know. That was garbage for sure. But it was absolutely a zero indication of how Green Bay was going to play. That's obvious. Um, so I think they were just rusty because they hadn't played any of the preseason games. Um, so I'm going to take Green Bay at home -4. But this one can go either way. I really truly believe that. I think Monday night, you know how guys like to show off on Monday night games. But not Aaron Rodgers. He's not really much of a show off, so he's been there 1,000 times. But yeah, I'm taking Green Bay at home -4 on Monday night. Okay, I didn't have any music for this, but here it is. Game of the year, Washington at Miami. I hope Miami is ready and like they have like EMS and everybody ready to go because you're gonna have 100,000 fucking fans disguised as empty seats out there, and you're not gonna see them, but they will be there. And this, like I said, I hope they put this on national TV. This one's going to be awesome. Washington is a -3.5 at Miami. The only thing I could say about Washington is that they are shit on shit on shit. And if that shit took a shit, it'd be Miami. That's what I think of these two fucking teams. They are so bad, and I can't believe they're actually playing each other. Because it makes the game now a thinker. Which way are you going to want to go on this one? Believe it or not, I think Miami, who is the shit of the shit on shit on shit on shit, is actually going to win this game. They will cover the spread, and I honestly believe that they will actually win outright. So I'm going to take Miami to win Game of the Year, Game of the Century. And that Dolphin does not have to hang his head in shame anymore. And there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Week 6 NFL, and I really hope you guys make some money. Bet responsible. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Please share with your friends. And make some damn money this week, all right? And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend.